Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Rewind show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below and hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. On today's edition of the Xfinity Rewind, we are looking back at Saturday's 14th Annual O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge. 200 laps, 300 miles around the 1.5-mile Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas. Very eventful race here. 13 cautions in this race for a total of 54 laps. First one came very early on lap number 1 as Christopher Bell from the pole got loose on the inside in turns 1 and 2 and spun it up the track, collecting multiple cars in this one, most of them in a separate, unrelated incident, trying to avoid him. But in total, Elliott Sadler, Ryan Reed, John Hunter Nemechek, Ryan Preece, Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell, and Spencer Gallagher all involved in this wreck. Lap 15 would be your next caution as the 66 of Bobby Earnhardt spun in turn 4. Lap 22, the 11 of Ryan Truex and the 39 of Ryan Sieg got together in turn number 2. And stage number 1 concluded at lap 45. Your stage 1 winner was Daniel Hemrick. Stage 2 was also fairly eventful. Lap 82, 3-car incident between the 9 of Tyler Reddick, the 35 of Joey Gase, and the 8 of Ray Black Jr., all getting together in turn number 2. Basically racing for the lead at the end of stage 1 between Tyler Reddick and Cole Custer. They were side by side in 1 and 2. Joey Gase, trying to stay on the lead lap at the end of the stage, was kind of holding up Tyler Reddick. Reddick just barely gets into the back of Gase in turn 2 and spins him around. Stage 2 concluded at lap number 90 with Cole Custer picking up the stage victory. Stage 3, there were a lot of incidents. First one came very quickly after the green flag to start stage 3. Came at lap 98 as the 5 of Michael Annett, the 19 of Brandon Jones, the 00 of Cole Custer, and the 60 of Ty Majeski all got together in turn number 2. Lap 126, the 11 of Ryan Truex found the wall in turn number 1. Lap 134. The 22 of Austin Cindric and the 20 of Christopher Bell got together again in turn number 4. A continuation of a bad day for Christopher Bell, and this would be the end of it for him on the day. Lap 140, the 18 of Ryan Preece and the 19 of Brandon Jones teammates get together in turn number 2. Lap 148, the 8 of Ray Black Jr. and the 35 of Joey Gase again getting together, this time on the backstretch. Lap 189, again, teammates, the 16 of Ryan Reed and the 60 of Ty Majeski got together. They also wrecked on the backstretch. And final caution of the day came at lap 195, just shy of the end of the race. And it was for a big pileup in turn number 4 between the 3 of Shane Lee, the 21 of Daniel Hemrick, the 0 of Garrett Smithley, the 39 of Ryan Sieg, the 23 of Spencer Gallagher, the 4 of Ross Chastain, and the 60 of Ty Majeski. That would be the, the third incident on the day that Ty Majeski was involved in? Yeah, third incident. So, not a good day for Ty Majeski either. The bad luck for that 60 car continues this season. 17 lead changes on the day among 9 drivers, excuse me. Led the most laps on the day. That would be Tyler Reddick with 54. 42 laps went to Daniel Hemrick. 37 laps led by Justin Allgaier. 35 went to Christopher Bell. 16 laps led by Cole Custer. 6 laps apiece went to John Hunter Nemechek and Shane Lee. And 4 laps were led by Brandon Jones. All right, let's get into your results for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge. Cole Custer in a thrilling battle in a 2-lap shootout with Tyler Reddick. He ends up with the victory, punches his ticket to Homestead. He is the first driver we know for sure will be in the championship 4 in 2 weeks at Homestead. That is scary if you're his other competitors. If you remember back to last season's dominating performance out of Cole Custer at Homestead, I have no reason to believe he won't be able to do the same thing this year at Homestead. So I think if you're these other guys that are trying to get into the Championship 4, you're pretty scared now that you know Cole Custer is in that Championship 4. Tyler Reddick gave it everything he possibly could. He and Cole Custer even made contact on the backstretch on the final lap, but it was not to be for Tyler Reddick even after he led the most laps on the day. Second place, still a good points day for Tyler Reddick, and does help him advance toward that Championship 4. Austin Cindric had a good points day, which is what he needed. Unfortunately, I don't think it was quite enough. I think he's still in a pretty well must-win situation going into Phoenix, even with this third-place finish, as he didn't get any stage points today. John Hunter Nemechek and Justin Allgaier rounded out the top 5. The rest of your top 10 were Brandon Jones, Matt Tifft, Elliott Sadler, Spencer Gallagher, and Daniel Hemrick. 11th through 20th. Even after all the incidents he was caught up in, we see Ty Majeski here in the 13th spot. So 3 cautions he was involved in on the day and still came home with a 13th place finish. Not too shabby, all things considered. 21st through 30th. Shane Lee down here started the day on the outside pole, had a pretty good run. Led 6 laps, unfortunately, got caught up in that late incident with his teammate Daniel Hemrick and others, and ended up in the 23rd position. Ryan Reed there in the 29th position after getting caught up in that incident late as well with his teammate Ty Majeski. And final page, 31st through 39th, Ryan Preece and Christopher Bell, teammates, landed down here in 31st and 32nd. Ryan Truex there in the 33rd position. All right, that's your results from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge. Let's head over to the Media Center. We'll see what your top finishers, Cole and the others, had to say after this one.
Literally screaming down the backstretch.
Hoping.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's.
I almost
take
did
it
it.
how you can get it,
almost
man.
did it for you.
Oh, yeah. What a day. What a race. I hope that was entertaining because that was really stressful. But obviously a pretty wild day for Discount Tire Ford Mustang. Involved on a wreck in lap 1. Repaired the damage throughout the entire race. Probably passed 60 some odd cars throughout the race, and I don't think I'm exaggerating that number. And then when it comes down to it, obviously we're able to get there at the end. So that's a lot of perseverance from our team from the entire weekend. Obviously, wrecking a primary in practice, going to a backup car, which Team Penske, I don't think of as backup cars. I think of as second cars because, I mean, to finish third in the backup car is just incredible. So I'm just really grateful to be able to be sitting here, but still got to win a race to make it to Homestead.
I mean, all it's done is set what 2019 holds in stone. Really hasn't changed anything within my own team. You know, me and Justin seem fine. Me and Elliott seem fine too, and Michael as well. Like they may know where I'm going, and you know we were a good team together. They're excited. They're happy for me, obviously. But we still work together as a team. And this weekend, we leaned heavily on what the one car was doing, and I think Justin did too. We both weren't exactly where we wanted to be in first practice, and even second practice just wasn't very good. So we just wholesaled it in the middle of the second practice and made 4 laps at the end, and still wasn't very happy. So it didn't really give us a good feeling going into the race today, but we qualified really well, and the car ran pretty good all day long. So just that's what teamwork is all about. We were able to adjust our car and make it a lot better for the race today.
No, I thought it was going to be tough. I knew I had to get it done or make it happen in turns 1 and 2, because it was just hard to pass in 3 and 4 all day. So I drove it into turn 1. I mean, probably 5 car lengths deeper than I have all day, and it worked out somehow. And I was able to get him loose on his bumper and get to his inside. And then I think we were just side drafting down the backstretch, and we just kind of got together. But it worked out in our favor, I guess.
All right, let's take a look at your playoff grid with 1 race remaining in the round of 8 before we shrink it down to 4 drivers next week at Phoenix to run for a championship in 2 weeks at Homestead, Miami. Cole Custer is the only driver so far locked into that championship 4 since John Hunter Nemechek won 2 weeks ago at Kansas, and he is not in the playoffs Nobody locked themselves in at Kansas. Cole Custer now, after 2 races in this round, the only driver locked into that championship 4. The point spread, though, is really interesting here. Tyler Reddick currently sits at the top of the guys in on points. He is 20 points to the good. That is a really good cushion with 1 race remaining. He's not safe by any means. If he has a bad race in Phoenix, he can fall out depending on what Allgaier and Tift do. But as long as he keeps his nose clean in Phoenix, Tyler Reddick has a really good shot at making it into that championship 4 at this point. Elliott Sadler and Daniel Hemrick are in a good spot. They're not in a great spot, but they're in a good spot. Elliott Sadler currently sitting 13 points above the cut line. Daniel Hemrick 12 above the cut line. Both of them above Justin Allgaier. They're sitting in 5th. They're in a good position. They can't afford to have too bad of a day at Phoenix, but if they keep their nose clean, like Reddick, and they have a solid day, they are pretty good to go at Phoenix. Now, if Justin Allgaier, Matt Tifft, Christopher Bell, or Austin Cindric wins at Phoenix, then that really changes things here. But assuming one of those 4 doesn't win, these guys are pretty good on points right now. Justin Allgaier's got 12 points to make up here. Not impossible to make up, and I think Justin Allgaier can make up that amount of points. Justin Allgaier can go out at Phoenix and win. That's the thing. Matt Tifft sitting back here, what are we looking at here? 14 points below the cutoff line, below Daniel Hemrick. 14 points is a pretty good amount of points to make up here. I'm not convinced Matt Tifft can do it at Phoenix. He hasn't shown enough speed this season, I think, to tell me that he can make up 14 points at Phoenix. So, that being said, Matt Tifft really, I think, needs to win at Phoenix. But in that same vein, Matt Tifft really hasn't shown me that he can win at Phoenix. So, I'd like to see him go out there and surprise me, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Christopher Bell, though. Christopher Bell is the interesting one here. 44 playoff points accrued over this entire season, and after 2 races, he has had bad enough races at Kansas and at Texas that he now sits 33 points below the cutoff line. Technically, that's not a must-win situation. Technically, he can point his way in at Phoenix. It would be very difficult to do, and it would require some bad luck, a really bad race out of either Daniel Hemrick or Elliott Sadler, but he could do it. Now, realistically, though, I think Christopher Bell has to win at Phoenix. Can Christopher Bell win at Phoenix? Yes. I think Christopher Bell can win at Phoenix. He has shown over this entire season he can win on just about any track. He's got the speed every week in that 20 car. He can, but he's coming off of 2 really bad weeks here. So it'll be interesting to see. I think Christopher Bell deserves to be in the championship 4. Arguably, Christopher Bell deserves this championship. He and Justin Allgaier have definitely had the 2 best seasons out of anybody in the Xfinity Series. And if anybody deserves the championship, it's those 2. And we could be looking at a championship 4 here that doesn't have either one of them. That's the crazy part to me. And then you've got Austin Cindric down here in the 8th spot. He sits 61 points below the cutoff line. No way around it. Mathematically cannot point his way in, even if he wins both stages and wins the race. He, points-wise, can't get in. But if he wins the race, he gets in. So that goes out the window anyway. So, Austin Cindric 100% is in a must-win situation at Phoenix. Can Austin Cindric win at Phoenix? I haven't seen the speed out of him this season on the ovals to say that he can win at Phoenix. Now, granted, he did run 3rd today at Texas, so it's not out of the question, but there's enough guys down here between Christopher Bell and Matt Tifft and Justin Allgaier that have the speed week in and week out to win races that are going to be gunning for that win really hard at Phoenix. I don't see Austin Cindric doing it. This has been a great season out of Austin Cindric, but I think the round of 8 is as far as he makes it in the playoffs this year. I just don't see him winning at Phoenix. He could prove me wrong. I don't see it happening, though. we'll see. Like I said, I could be proven wrong, but we'll see what happens at Phoenix. But that is your playoff grid following the O'Reilly Auto Parts Challenge at Texas Motor Speedway. 2 races remaining in the 2018 Xfinity Series season, and I think that will do it for us tonight on the Xfinity Series Rewind. If you noticed, we did not have a Truck Series Rewind for last night's race, unfortunately. I do apologize for that. We had some technical difficulties that just would not allow us to do the show, unfortunately. So I do apologize for that if that's something you were looking forward to. I really do apologize, but luckily we were able to get those sorted out to be able to do this, and should have no problems doing the Cup Rewind tomorrow as well, or pole position on Monday evening. So that you've got all that to look forward to. And we did have an RNN news break go up yesterday, though, Friday. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. If you're interested in the ARCA Racing Series, up-and-coming drivers, an announcement on one of the bigger stars in the ARCA Racing Series returning next season for more races. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It is would have been the last video now, since we didn't do a Truck Rewind. So yeah, last video up on the channel. It is a pretty big story there for the ARCA Racing Series. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't already. Also, link down below in the description. We are still trying to hit that 100 subscriber mark. At the time of this recording, we are at 92 subscribers. So we're inching our way there to that 100 subscriber mark. We need your help to get there. If you haven't seen the 100 subscriber giveaway announcement yet, like I said, it's linked down below in the description. Go check it out. It is a really cool, one-of-a-kind piece of Venturini Motorsports memorabilia that we will be giving away when we hit 100 subscribers. We're so close. If you're not already subscribed, please go down below, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell while you're at it for the notifications so you don't miss anything going forward from RNN. And so we can hit that 100 subscriber mark, and you're already a third of the way entered into possibly winning that really cool Venturini Motorsports piece. All the rules for that are in that video, so go check that out. Really cool piece. Definitely something that is worth having a chance to win. It is really cool. And go down below, hit that big thumbs up button while you're there. If you like the video, it is much appreciated when you do. So at that, this has been the NASCAR Xfinity Series Rewind show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.